If you've been watching my channel, then you would probably have picked up that I talk a lot about demonolatry and demons on this channel. And with these Tuesday uploads, I'll probably be talking more about demonolatry, whereas the Friday Blackout Chat with Reverend Kai will be more focused on witches and witchcraft. So I just wanted to actually just make a video about where to actually begin with demonolatry. And so let's discuss that. Alright, so when it comes to demons and demonolatry, there has been a lot of misinterpretation out there, but I think in the past several years things have sort of changed a bit. Now, I do find there's a bit of a difference between demonolatry and what a lot of people are now calling black magic. There's a lot of people who like to dress in their goth clothing, and there's nothing wrong with that. I like goth myself, but they carry on about, you know, calling up the infernal army from hell and things like that. I wouldn't actually consider that demonolatry itself. And you know, if you go into Satanism, there's a lot of different branches of Satanism. So some Satanists will only work with Satan. They won't work with the other demons. But there's another branch which is more like satanic demonolatry, where Satan is the Godhead, the All-Father, but they will work with other demons. So when it comes to all of these left-hand path practices, there's a lot of overlaps and things like that. There is also a lot of overlaps in demonolatry. But if you are really interested in learning more about demonolatry, then I would suggest going down the path of books written by such people as S.Connolly, M. Delaney. If you actually start venturing down that path, you'll pick up a lot of different authors as well. Ellen Percival, for instance, but they are generational demonolators, and the information they've brought out over the past several years is extremely valuable to the path of demonolatry. Now, just to give you a bit of background, I was a demonolator before I even knew I was a demonolator. So over the years with my practice, now you would have also picked up, if you've been watching my other videos, that I started out, I think it's about 26 years ago, it's just over 25 years now, started out with witchcraft itself, and ventured down that path. And I'm kind of one of those seekers that tries to find the truth in everything, and I like bridging between different traditions and paths. There's a lot of terminology that's used, which just basically becomes semantics at the end of the day. But whereas one group will call a practice one thing, and another group will call a practice or a belief another thing, if you actually look into it a bit further, they're basically the same thing. And I love bridging between these different traditions and finding the commonalities and similarities. So my path throughout the years has been quite varied. You know, going into shamanism, Toltec warrior path, into ceremonial magic, practical Kabbalah, chaos magic, left-hand path, right-hand path, Wicca, witchcraft. It's been extremely varied. And over the years, I've occasionally worked with the Goesha and the other grimoires. The one difficulty I always had was the whole idea of commanding the spirits and trapping and binding them in a space and threatening them if they didn't do what I told them to do. I've always had respect for spirits. I don't care what you call them, whether you call them angels, demons, gods, goddesses, they are still spirits and they are ancient and they are powerful. And so I've always had respect for them. And that whole approach of the old Solomonic grimoires, just, it didn't fit with me. So I started looking for other methods to actually use them. So came across spirit boxes, and I can't remember exactly where I came across spirit boxes and spirit vessels, but that method was actually very interesting. And also working with the demons by taking the sigil, putting it under your bed or under your pillow, and working with the demon through dream work is also a very interesting method. But this is what happened over the years. So I got a bit more out of the whole commanding and threatening and everything else that the Solomonic grimoires talk about, and more into actually a respectful approach to the demons. And then several years back, about 4 or 5 years back, I started working more in a Satanist, from a Satanist viewpoint, using Satan as the Godhead, but also, again, still working with other demons. And then 2 years ago, a year and a half maybe, I came across S.Connolly's work, and everything just clicked into place. Everything. It was like a jigsaw puzzle that had been scattered, and all of a sudden, there it is. And with S.Connolly's work and the whole generational demonolatry, with using Ducant's hierarchy and things like that, things just started making sense. And the whole respect for the demons and how to actually work with them properly, so that you get the respect back as well, just made so much sense. So I wanted to actually talk about where to begin if this is a path you're interested in. Now, I'm not going to say it's a path for everybody. We can even say that Christianity is not a path for everybody, witchcraft's not a path for everybody, Wicca's not a path for everybody. But if it is a path that you find you're being drawn to and you have a great interest in, then I just wanted to give you a beginner's guide, basically. So a lot of people suggest starting with the old grimoires, and I don't like that approach. I feel if you start with the old grimoires, you're going to be doing the commanding, the trapping and everything else without having any other foundation. And then when you start moving into the proper demonolatry practice, you're going to have that base foundation which is going to be ingrained in you. So I prefer not to actually go down that route until later. What I suggest is having a look for S.Connolly's books. She's got a lot of books out. A lot of them are chapbooks, so they're very short. They're also quite inexpensive. If you are on Amazon Unlimited, then I think all of her chapbooks you'll probably find they're free to read if you've got Amazon Unlimited. But 2 101 books that are brilliant. There's the Complete Book of Demonolatry, and this one, the Demonolator's Guide to Demonic Magic, S.Connolly. They're excellent books, they really are. They're full of all the information you actually need to get started. It goes through the courtesies and other ground rules, and actually talks about magic itself and what it means to be an adept. And it basically goes into everything. Now, I think the very, very necessary place to actually begin is, if you are completely new, is to actually start with meditation and some kind of energy work. Meditation, because you are going to be learning how to still the mind, and through stilling the mind you are able to more easily communicate with the spirits themselves and do your magic. You can do practices of visualization and concentration. Those things do develop as you continue working through magic. If you want to sort of shortcut years and years and years of practice to actually get to that point, then you can specifically focus on visualization and concentration. But start with meditation. You need to learn how to meditate and still your mind first. Learn how to do breath work, which is extremely important. Breath work's like one of the most important things. Then you can do the visualization and concentration exercises, and you might take you 6 months to perfect those, whereas if you just practice constantly, it could take you 6 years, maybe 3 years, 6 years, to actually get to that point where it's easy to actually visualize and concentrate on particular things, which aid in your magic. You know, some people find it a lot easier to do than other people. Where everybody's different, we're all individuals, so there's no competition. So just, you know, go at the pace that you need to go at. But meditation is very important, breath work is very important, and just getting stilling the mind. And then from an energy work point of view, what I mean by that is some kind of practice that actually works with your energy. I do Qigong. I find it the most effective and the most easiest, actually. But you might prefer yoga. Maybe you already do yoga, or tensegrity if you are interested in the Toltec warrior path, or you can do Falun Dafa if it's something that you've come across and you're using it. All of these practices work on the energy body, and the actual energy that flows through the physical body. Once you've got that energy flowing properly, it flows into all areas of your life. So enhancing your body and the energy that runs through the body is important to all the areas of your practice itself. And also when you're working with energy in this way, you know, doing Qigong and things like that, you get used to actually feeling the energy flowing, as opposed to how you feel when you're not doing that work. When you're not doing that work, you get into a slump, you get into depressions. It's kind of like, well, Castaneda actually speaks about it like if you had to look at somebody's energy body that has a good flow of energy, it looks a bit like an ellipse. But when they're not using any kind of energy work, then it kind of slumps a bit and it looks a bit like an egg. So it's kind of flat, almost kind of flat at the bottom, and then the energy kind of drags down instead of this nice oval ellipse shape that the energy actually creates. So when you're in that state where you are not functioning properly, you know, your environment's a mess, your mind's a mess, everything just feels like a mess. It does put you into a depression. And you get demotivated and things like that. And the only way to actually get yourself out of that is to just do it. You know, you just gotta try and motivate yourself. It's not easy sometimes, I know. It's really difficult sometimes. But if you can, just get yourself back in the flow and just each day just keep doing a simple energy type practice that gets your energy moving again, and it starts breaking up all the stagnant bits that are getting a bit crusty. You just break those crusts off and the energy starts to move properly again, and you feel a lot better. Your environment changes, it becomes neater, it becomes tidier. In that case, your mind becomes neater and tidier, and it's actually easier when you sit down for meditation to actually still the mind. So all these things go hand in hand, but these practices are very important to any magic, but I think especially to demonolatry. And from there, learn as much as you can. Not just about demonolatry and the demons. Learn magic from all different systems and all different traditions and whatever you can get your hands on, because everybody has a different viewpoint and a different perspective. So if you come onto a particular tradition or a particular topic, you know, read a variety of different books from a variety of different authors. They may all be talking about the same thing, but you're going to get slightly different perspectives, and what one person says might just be that one thing that just clicks your understanding into place. But you need to have that foundation. So, you know, learn as much as you can, read as much as you can, talk to as many people as you can, and find out how to actually do magic and how magic works. Then when you go a bit further into demonolatry, you can start using the magic that's prescribed within demonolatry itself, and working with the demons and things like that. The reason I like demonolatry is that I find that the spirits you work with are very attentive. They're there for you. It's not like, you know, calling on a particular god from a particular pantheon and you don't really feel that presence. I mean, if you've ever been there, a lot of people do. A lot of people find it easier to work with the gods and the goddesses from their own pantheon than it is to work with these demons. For me, it was the other way around. With the demons, they were just there. I often say that it's kind of like being in a bike gang. If you get accepted into the bike gang, then, you know, the rest of them are kind of there behind you going, we've got your back. So it's kind of interesting from that perspective, but I just find them very attentive. They are there. They are willing to help you, willing to guide you, willing to teach you, in order for you to progress. And, you know, they get something out of it as well. So it's not a one-sided relationship. So yeah, have a look at s.connolly's books. As I say, she has a lot of chat books out. Those chat books are short, but they are packed with incredible information. And I think all of the chat books you can find on Amazon. As I say, if you've got Amazon Unlimited, they're all free. Her other books, such as these ones which are a bit thicker, you know, the full-length books, I don't know if they're available free on Amazon Unlimited, but, you know, they're worth whatever price is on them. And let's put it this way: we tend to read a lot of books about magic and witchcraft and the occult and things like that, and after you finish reading them, they kind of leave more questions. They leave you guessing. They don't really give you all the information that you need. In these books, you've got all the information you need. I don't think they actually left much out. It really is. It's just packed, jam full with information. And this one, as I said, the Demonolatry's Guide to Demonic Magic. It's actually a compilation. So some of the authors in here, articles written by Angie Annon, M. Delaney, Selena T. Ducant. That's Ducant's daughter, I think, if I remember correctly. Derek Mallory, Brad Morlan, Lisa P., Ellen Purswell, Kellyanne Nicholas Schneider. Nicholas Schneider is Goetic Nick. There's also Valerie Corbin and Britt Delaney. So it's not just s.connolly's work in this particular book. There's actually a compilation of different generational demonolators. So excellent book, really excellent book. So I'm going to leave you with that, and I'll see. The rest of the month I'm going to actually be talking about quite a bit about healing. You know, different healing techniques and healing modalities from different areas and different traditions. And one of the things I'm going to be focusing on in one of those videos this month is going to be from this book. There's a lot of stuff about balancing the elements, and also emotional healing, and using Leviathan for emotional healing, and things like that. So I'm going to be going through some of the workings with the demons in order to heal. So that's why I wanted to actually talk about this today and just give you a sort of beginner's guide. Anyway, so join us on Friday with Black Hat Chat. This week we're going to be talking about protection and cleansing. There's a lot of information we can bring up about protection and cleansing, so I'm sure we'll be able to fit an hour and a half, 2 hour slot in there. If you've got any questions, come along and just ask the questions you need to ask and we'll give you a reply, give you an answer. If you haven't already, join the Wildwood Temple. It's a Facebook group. It's a nice safe space where people can actually just discuss anything about magic and witchcraft. And the Black Hat Chat will be streaming 4 p.m. GMT on Fridays on both YouTube and Twitch. Links should be in the description, so have a look in the description for all the links. And if you'd like to support us, we're on Patreon and Buy Me a Coffee. I like Buy Me a Coffee. It's quite cool because you can either subscribe for a monthly fee, it's $5, or you can actually just give us a contribution. Buy Me a Coffee, $3. You can buy us 10 coffees if you want. We don't mind. Well, I like drinking a lot of coffee, so that's cool with me. So buymeacoffee.com/Black Hat Chat or patreon.com/Black Hat Chat. The Black Hat Chat also gets uploaded on Saturdays to Anchor.fm, so it's available on a few platforms, including Spotify. So have a look out for that. And so I'll see you on Friday. Have a good one. Cheers.